was diagnosed with grade 3 stage 4 ovarian cancer in May 2012, just after my 49th birthday and a week before my son's final exams at university. Even though I had suspected that I had ovarian cancer when I went to see my GP in October 2011, it was only confirmed after 7 months of visiting the gynecology, gastroenterology, and hematology departments of my local hospital. I went to see my GP because I noticed my trousers feeling tight, a change in my bowel movements, increased passing of water, and a bloated stomach. I'd also been feeling irritable, and initially I put it down to the menopause. However, I looked up the symptoms of ovarian cancer since I recalled a relative having some of these symptoms when she was diagnosed in 2010. I therefore decided to see my GP and told her of my concerns and asked to have a CA125 test. My GP referred me for a pelvic ultrasound scan and a blood test. The results were CA125 was raised and the normal value is up to 35, and the scan did not show anything untoward. My GP therefore referred me to the gynae-oncology unit at my local hospital. I had another ultrasound scan and an MRI at my local hospital between December 2011 and March 2012, which did not seem to show anything sinister. My CA125 was also monitored, and this was rising steadily. After the MRI, I was referred to a gastroenterologist as I was told the rising CA125, which was now 129, could be due to a number of causes, including gastrointestinal cancer. The gastroenterologist referred me for a CT scan and a colonoscopy because she told me that my stomach was very hard and she could not feel anything. The gastroenterologist referred me to a hematologist due to the enlarged lymph nodes, and I was convinced I had some sort of lymphoma, but I did not say anything to my husband. I saw the hematologist in May 2012, and she only had a partial result of the biopsy, which confirmed I did not have lymphoma. I asked her to call me as soon as she got the result, and therefore she called me the next day to tell me that the results showed I had ovarian cancer that had spread to the lymph nodes. I was at work and fortunately in a room on my own. I did not tell my husband about the cancer until the next evening, and that was only because I had spoken to my GP, who insisted that I should tell him and that I should take him with me to my hospital appointment. I had been worried that if my husband spoke to our son, he may tell him what was going on, and I did not want our son to know about the cancer until he finished his exams. I remember being told that I had ovarian cancer on 30th of May 2012 and being introduced to the clinical nurse specialist. After that, everything happened really fast and I seemed to be on autopilot. Fortunately, I managed to attend my son's graduation at Cambridge on 30th June and my chemotherapy started on 3rd July. It had been decided that I would have 3 cycles of chemotherapy, followed by surgery, and then 3 cycles of chemotherapy. The drugs I was given were Taxol and carboplatin, but the Taxol had to be stopped after the 2nd cycle due to severe peripheral neuropathy in my hands. My CA125 had gone up to 257 before chemotherapy and came down to 22 before surgery in September 2012. In the week that my son started his first proper job as a graduate, I had to go in for my surgery, and I was petrified because I did not know what the surgeon would find once he opened me up, as he had already warned me that if the cancer had spread to any other organs like the stomach, liver, or spleen, they may have to remove these organs. It was a very stressful period for the whole family, and I am very grateful that I recovered well from the surgery. After the chemotherapy finished on 23rd October 2012, I had to have a scan which showed that my disease was stable and non-active, remission. I was also started on a maintenance drug, Avastin, with my last chemotherapy, which I had to have intravenously every 3 weeks at the hospital for 1 year, and this was stopped on 15th October 2013. I suffered from muscular aches and pain as well as nosebleeds, which are some of the well-known side effects of Avastin. I started working again in February 2013, but had to learn how to manage my pain and invest in a good pair of shoes. I also had to start taking perindopril and amlodipine because my blood pressure went up after surgery and I was now considered to have hypertension. One of the side effects of Avastin is an increase in blood pressure. Fortunately, I was able to come off amlodipine after 18 months and am now just taking perindopril. I was enjoying being in remission and tried to look after myself the best way I could, reading up on what I could do to help myself. My husband and I also traveled regularly to various destinations, and one of my dreams come true was when I was able to see the Northern Lights in Norway in November 2016. I felt rather unwell in January 2016, and as we were traveling to Australia and New Zealand in February, I wanted to be reassured that all was well. A CT scan of the chest and abdomen showed a single enlarged mediastinal node, and the CA125 had gone up to 32. Since I was generally well and there were no debilitating symptoms, I was allowed to travel. I was monitored throughout 2016 with CT scans at regular intervals, and the CA125 was also monitored. By October 2016, the node had increased in size and the CA125 had now gone up to 118. I was given the option of having a biopsy, but I was not happy to go for any surgery since I was feeling really well. I was then offered tamoxifen, and very reluctantly I agreed to take it because I had read about the benefits of it in ovarian cancer. By January 2017, the CA125 was now 123 and the node had increased by 7 millimeters. I was still reluctant to have any investigative surgery, so decided to watch and wait. By February, I had developed a cough and hoarseness, so I called my CNS, clinical nurse specialist, and I was referred to a cardiothoracic surgeon who showed me the exact location of the node. This convinced me that I should have the video-assisted thoracic surgery, which was the option put forward. I had this in March 2017, and fortunately the surgeon was able to remove the whole node, which was sitting on a nerve that goes to the diaphragm. This is called the phrenic nerve. This resulted in the CA125 going down to 17, and fortunately I did not need any further treatment. The histology on the node showed high-grade serous carcinoma consistent with metastases from the ovary. The last 6 years have not been easy for me. After my surgery last year, I had a break from all my volunteering and did not work since I found the recovery took a lot longer than I had expected. I felt the recurrence affected me mentally a lot more than my initial diagnosis. I'm very happy to say that just over 6 years after my initial diagnosis, I'm now happy. I have accepted that my life will never be the same as before my diagnosis. The best gift cancer has given me is the opportunity to look after myself, learn to let go of all the small stuff, meet some amazing people, and enjoy each precious moment of life. My philosophy now is learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning, and that is what Albert Einstein said.